Yeah, so they called goaltend, and so that was Verant's bucket. Jar Sanders stepped.
All right, welcome to the Christian Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Julian Egbo, and I'm here with the one and only JR, professional basketball player. And thank you for being on the show, man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
We're also here in Armenia still playing professional basketball here in the CBL League. I'm good. So I'd like to start off. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm always thankful to the Lord that I'm alive, man. Every day that I'm breathing.
So that's always great.
Always.
First question I like to ask is, what was your welcome to pro basketball moment?
Welcome to pro basketball moment. Honestly, it was the first game. It was the first game.
First game?
Yeah, just being fresh out the plane, and you have to be ready to go. You have to be ready to play.
Yep.
So I didn't perform the best that I could have, but it was definitely a learning experience. Just you just got to be ready at the professional level. You got to be ready.
Yeah. That was like a huge eye opener for you.
Yeah, it was. It was just like, whoa, like straight off the plane. It's just like,
yeah,
wow,
it's different.
Like, yeah, I'll say that.
The next question I like to ask is, when did you give your life to Christ?
And so I've always believed in God. I did. The thing was, at first I just didn't know how I could connect to him, or like who was I speaking to when I was praying. But it was my mother really that helped me get into it. Because she always had a strong faith, and she would read the Bible, and I would notice as a little kid that she would read a lot of scriptures and have them highlighted, take notes. I would notice things like that, and I would just be like, okay, like maybe I want to be able to get into that. I want to be able to understand, but I tried reading the Bible for myself at a young age, and I just didn't understand. It was just, like, I think I dove straight into Paul's writings, like Romans and stuff, and it was just like, what is going on? What is going on here? Yeah, so my mom was just telling me, just pick up Proverbs. And as I started reading Proverbs, I got into Psalms, like Job, like those type of books. Then I started expanding into, Luke, Matthew, started to understand, like, the more I kept reading. This was in college.
Yeah.
When I was like 18 years old.
Yep.
That's when I started to like, okay, yeah, he's real. Like the Messiah, he's real. He was here. Like, it made me more of a believer.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. It's great to have your mom, pushing you parents pushing you to be the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Digging deep and getting that wisdom.
Absolutely. The wisdom.
Powerful. Can you talk a little bit about your high school career?
Yeah, so I went to Mount Juliet High School. It's like a school like 30 minutes right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, the suburbs.
Yeah.
My mom had us move out there when I was about 10, I believe. We were living in East Nashville. We were living in like poverty. We was living in poverty, and then she got a good job, and we was able to move to the suburbs, and that's what happened there. But to keep going, went to high school at Mount Juliet High School. I played football and basketball at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a really good football year. I was able to score. I was a running back. I scored 17 touchdowns.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I was quick. I was fast, man. I was fast. But after the football season was over, I was just like, man, I need to just focus on one thing. I know some people, like, I credit them, like people that's able to do two sports like Deion Sanders and stuff. Like I applaud that really. But for me, I was just like, man, if I could just focus on one thing, lock in on it, I think I could be great. And I felt like basketball was the one. I was like, I was getting better.
Yeah.
So I just kept going with basketball, and God blessed me with the opportunity to start my sophomore year. And because I was hurt after football season, I had fractured my growth plate in my shoulder, so I was in a sling the whole season. Yeah, it was tough.
Right.
Yeah, so but my sophomore year I was able to start, and to fast forward, I was me and my team, we went to sub-state 3 consecutive times from my sophomore year to my senior year. As far as like awards, I was able to win most valuable player thanks to the Lord in the district.
Hey.
Yeah, all district, Tennessee, all region. Like those are the things that came with it, man. Because I worked so hard, man. I was working so hard because
hard work.
it was always a goal for me to be here, like to play pro, like to have that experience. So I was like, I know I had to go hard.
Yeah, everything was falling in line.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
one thing at a time.
And
Awesome.
one more thing, my bad.
Yeah. No, you good. You good.
And but my mom, she was really hard on me, like at school.
Yeah.
Like the academic part of it. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Like it'll be like she wasn't playing. Like she was like, if you don't get good grades, you're not gonna be able to play the game. You're not gonna be able to go outside. Like you're not gonna be able to do all the stuff that you want to do as a kid. So I was just like, man, I gotta really lock in because I was more like afraid of the consequences, like from my parents, than I was with the school. So I was just like, man, let me just do the right thing.
Yeah.
Just stay locked in so that I won't have to face my mother.
Yeah.
Face my mother's wrath, man. Yeah.
She was doing it,
out of love.
Get you to where you are today. Now you look back and like, damn, my mom.
I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's amazing. So how did you end up going to college and playing there, and how did that come about?
So believe it or not, I didn't have an offer until the end of my senior season. So I know like some guys out there, some young guys, they're like, man, I'm trying to go D1, or like I'm just trying to get a college offer to go play. You know, it doesn't matter what sport. And you're in your junior year, you just feel like it's too late. I'm telling you, it's not. Like, but I just would recommend that you go to exposure camps, like places where you could get yourself out there a little bit more. And I think during my time in high school, that's where I like struggled to figure out like, oh, I need to get more exposure. I need to go to here. So I did that. I did a lot of that at the end of my senior season. Went to Miami, went to Alabama, Kentucky. I went to various places, and I had got a call, or I got an email at first, and then I got a call from the head coach of Maryville College, which is the school I ended up going to.
Yeah.
I also had some interest from Trevecca University in Nashville, Christian Brothers, and this was all after my senior season.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Florida National, not Florida International, but Florida National. It's an NAIA school in Miami. That school, a school in Jasper, Alabama. I can't remember. It was a new school, but I chose Maryville because they seemed the most interested in you. Yeah. And they were just like, we got to get you to campus. Like, we got to get you. Like, they were just immediate, you know. And I was just like, yeah, like
this is where
I like this. And when I looked at the campus, I was like, this is where I'm going to graduate. This is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
And I just committed to that, and boom, that's what it was, man. Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome, man. So can you give some advice to an incoming freshman coming into college?
Yeah.
As an athlete.
Yeah. Time management. Your professor, your coaches, they probably are already gonna preach it to you, but it's a real thing. Time management. Because that's something that I slacked with. Like they would tell me the RAs, the older peers, they would tell you like, bro, you gotta learn how to manage your time. And sometimes it's easy to brush it aside when you're young, because it's just like, man, I'm in college my first year, I'm finna turn up. You know, like what are you talking about? Yeah. But no, it's a real thing, especially if you're gonna be a student athlete, man. Like you gotta make time to make sure you do well in school. Because if you don't got the grades, bro, you're not gonna be able to play. Like straight up.
Simple.
Like if you don't got the grades, you not going to touch the floor. I promise you. So you know, make sure that you have a game plan. Make sure you use a planner. If a planner doesn't work, then get a big calendar or something. Like, or a dry erase board. That's what I started using. I started using a dry erase board, and I would set up my schedule and do it like that. But yeah, time management is a real thing. And I promise you, if you're able to manage your time properly, then college is not going to be super difficult. There is going to be some difficult courses that you may take depending on your major, but it'll make things a little bit smoother, a little bit easier for you.
For sure. I could also say getting a routine. Yeah. And also just like doing all the hard stuff early. Like all that hard homework that is due that end of that week or something like that. Get that done as soon as possible. No procrastinate to the last second.
Absolutely.
You don't get that stuff done. Now you have a lot of time to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So how was your freshman year of college like, and how was that process going from high school to college and going to school you went to?
Well, you're on your own, really. I mean, of course you might have some financial help, coming from your parents, depending on what situation you're in, but you're on your own, man. Like this is your time to like really learn more about yourself, other people, and just learn what college is about. Freshman year, I found myself hanging around the wrong crowd, man. I had to learn this early, and I was around people that really didn't care about, being the best version of themselves. They just wanted to party and goof off, and I fed into that sometimes. And it would cause me to get behind in some of my classes, and so I had to pick it up my second semester of my freshman year. But yeah, it was tough. But basketball was going good. Basketball was, it was going smooth for me. I started off on the freshman side, which sometimes when you in the recruitment, they'll tell you, oh, you got a good chance to start, or they try to feed you that. Yeah, they good at
coaches
recruiting.
Are good at recruitment.
Yeah. But when I got there and I saw that I was on the freshman side, with the other freshmen, of course, or the JV side, people will call it. I saw a lot of guys that were, disappointed because they were told the same thing too. So yeah. So when I saw that, I was just like, man, like there's got to be a way. Like if they give me a chance, like if I got a chance to make it over to varsity, then I'm gonna do it. And like the coaches explained the way, like you can make it to varsity. You just got to practice hard, work hard, and play good in your first couple games, and you'll make it over there. So that's exactly what I did. I was just following the coach's instructions, and I was just, But I would notice the other guys that got there, the other freshmen, that they were kind of being hard-headed about it, like rebellious about it, because they were just like, man, I deserve to be varsity. Yeah. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna work for it. Go ahead and work for it.
Take the humble approach to it.
Exactly. And I made my way there.
Winning some championships.
And I won a championship my freshman year, regular season and the conference tournament championship. And man, it was an amazing feeling. All glory to God, man. All glory to God. It was an amazing feeling, like winning it my freshman year. Because it's like I was saying, in high school, I went to sub-state 3 consecutive times. I didn't go to the state tournament and compete for a championship. So when I finally was able to win that championship, I was like, I was just like, the blessings.
Finally.
Yeah. But that was my freshman year. I'm sorry I went on a long spew.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah.
Another question I like to ask is, can you just talk about your relationship with God?
Man. So, like I was saying, I didn't really start building that connection until I was like 18 when I first got to college. Because my mother, she had given me a Bible. She gave me a King James Bible to take with me to school. And I was looking at it. When she handed it to me the first time, I was like, I'm not finna read this. Like, I don't understand this. But then, man, one day, I believe it was sometime in October or November, I picked up that book and I just started reading. And it started with Proverbs. I went Psalms and then Genesis. And then, it just kept progressing from there. But man, my relationship with the Lord is incredible, man. I understand, like, if I'm going through something bad or like tribulations, it's coming from Him. I'm understanding that all of this stuff is coming from Him. The blessings, like when you're doing good, when you're prospering, or when you're brought at a low estate, I understand that that's coming from Him. And once you understand that, man, like you'll have peace. You'll have peace with your soul. So like it can be hard though when you're at that low estate, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling that sorrow, depression, and all that. Like it's just like why, or like you don't want to be yourself, or like you look for other
ways to like kind of combat
yeah,
it,
yeah, to kind
to
of
get that
suppress it.
feeling,
Yeah,
to get that good feeling.
yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, the problem is still there.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
I just like I said, I be thanking the Lord that I get another opportunity every day for
Yeah,
breathing. Like the next day, the next day. All right, next. Like in basketball, it's like next play. When you turn the ball over, next play.
yep.
When you have a bad game, next game.
Next
Yeah,
game, yeah.
and yeah,
Can't harp on those bad moments because
yeah,
you can run mad doing that.
yeah,
Just giving it to God,
yeah,
playing for God, and doing things like that just give you that what you said about that peace. You know
yeah.
what I'm
That
saying? That peace that
peace,
you just need because you
absolutely.
start having these bad games, thinking about it, trying to find other things to help you through it, and it's like that game is still gonna be there.
Right at the
And
end
you
of the
can't
day,
change it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So finding peace in the Lord is gonna help you
absolutely.
get through those hard times.
One other thing, my bad.
Yeah.
One thing that God has gifted me with was observation skills and uh, listening before I speak. So
Mm.
that's how I accumulated a good amount of wisdom. All praises, to the
Yeah, to the
Lord,
Most
man.
High.
Yeah. So just using that skill, utilizing that skill, and just enhancing my knowledge as
Yeah,
much as I can. I give credit to the Lord, man. He's responsible for everything. And like I tell you all the time, what an
yeah,
amazing story that he
yeah.
has, for each individual.
Each
It's
and
just
every
it's
one of
crazy.
us. Nah, for
Hmm.
sure. Can you just talk a little bit about how your pro journey came along?
How I got here,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, how you became professional.
Man, so it's always been a childhood dream for me to play professional basketball. And after college, I was just like, I had a couple emails from schools. Like there was one Oxford University. It's in the United Kingdom.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. But it was for my master's. I was just like, I don't know if I want to get my master's right. I do, but I don't know. I was very
Yeah,
indecisive about like,
yeah.
okay, should I just keep going to school?
Hmm.
Should I come back to it? So at the end of my season, my last season, Dustin had reached out to me and another teammate of mine. His name is Nicholas Clifton, and he invited us to a camp. It was an overseas camp, uh, and it was the one in Dallas, Texas. And I was like, okay, I think I have family members down there. Maybe I can go check that out. And so I was training hard. After I got that email, and I was like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah,
I was training the whole summer. I was training. I was working on dribble moves, getting a bunch
yeah.
of shots up, try to get in the gym. Sometimes it was hard for us to get into gyms. But ended up going to Dallas. I performed really well. RJ was
Yeah,
my
RJ.
teammate. Yeah, we did well. I went with another buddy of mine. We didn't go to the same school, but we grew up together
Mm,
in Tennessee. So
okay.
he ended up going to the camp too. He performed really good. But uh, it was like 2 weeks after the camp, Dustin was telling us. Dustin is the head of the camp. He's the one that got us here, pretty much to
Yeah,
Armenia. He said that you got to be ready to have your passport and stuff. He was telling us before, and I was just like, man, like 2 weeks has already passed. I ain't getting no offer or nothing. Maybe I should just work. Maybe I should
yeah.
just, yeah, I don't know if I should go get my passport. Next month comes, boom. JR, you ready to play Armenia? Like they need a spot. They need a spot. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me go get my
Yo,
passport.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Guess what? It was
Too
too
late.
late. It was too late. I said, how long could you wait? Like, how long could you hold them off? And he was just like, no, you need to be here at this day. Otherwise, we got to find somebody else. I ended up finding somebody
Yeah,
else. And
yeah.
I'm telling you, I was brought down to the ground. I'm talking. I'm telling you, man, my whole mood, like everything, like you just see it in my demeanor. I was just so sad, like so much in sorrow. And I was just like, oh man, I blew this opportunity because you never know. Opportunity like
Yeah,
this is once
it's
in
a
a
once in a
lifetime
lifetime
thing. And I'm
opportunity.
just like, I just blew it because I didn't believe that God could bless me with, man, like
Yeah,
that was a moment of doubt right there. And I was just like, but I shook it off like after another month, and I got to working out with my brother, and I stuck with it. And passport came in, and mid-December, got another call. It was just like, hey, some guys left on the team. Are you still going to be available for Armenia? And I was like, yep. And I was just like, and when I got that text message from Dustin, I was just like, I looked up to the sky and I was just like, God, like, thank you so much.
Wow.
Because I was praying for this. I was
testimony
praying for,
right there.
Yeah. I was praying for this. I'm telling you, I was crying, man. I was so sad for a long time, man. I was so low, man. So low. My confidence, everything was just low after that. And I was just like, please, like, Lord, please help me get an opportunity. Please.
Yeah.
And he gave it to me. He gave it to me. I'm here and I met King Jew.
Yes, sir.
King Jew, and I met a bunch of other, great individuals, man. Great individuals. I'm so glad I got to connect with these people. Really.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a great story, man.
Man.
It's a testimony.
Man.
For real.
Believe, man. Believe in the Lord, man.
Believe.
I'm telling you.
He will come through.
Yes.
I promise you.
Yes, through the good and the bad.
Yep. So what have you learned from being a professional basketball player in Armenia?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that I learned how to speak another language. You got to be comfortable. Yeah. You got to, explore too. Explore different cultures, what people are about in these different countries, wherever you go. But I learned, like, you just got to be ready whenever. You got to be ready, like, oh, if you got to go to practice at this time and you just woke up, you got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go, man. If you got to do shooting this time, it might be different for people, Yeah. But I learned, like, you got to be ready. Like I was saying earlier in the podcast, it's like you got to be ready to go as a professional. Like, no excuses. Like, go taxi, go get it.
Yeah,
go get it. Go to the gym. Oh, we got to be here. We got to meet here. Go weight room. Go 3-on-3. All that game. Say it's Sunday and you get a text saying, "Oh, y'all got a game tomorrow in the morning or in the afternoon or something." It's just like, you look at first, you probably like, what? Like, why are we knowing this? But you got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go, man. So
definitely got to go.
That's the biggest thing I learned. Be ready.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to be a professional athlete?
Someone that wants to be a professional athlete, like basketball player, or just a professional?
Let's go period. Professional period. Athlete can be any sport.
I would say, and it seems like kind of cliche or that, but it's don't give up. Like, don't give up on the process, because you just heard, with me, I had an opportunity. It was just like, and I missed it. I blew it. But then there's going to be more if you keep working hard. You have to put in the labor.
Definitely.
The Lord is going to reward you if you labor. Like, hear me. He's going to reward you if you labor for what you want. Like, he will give you your desires if you, first of all, seek him, but then put in the work for it, right? People don't just become rich because overnight, or they just be like, Lord, please put $1 million in my bank account. Like, no, you got to work. Yeah. You got to work for it. So be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Enjoy the process, even when it gets hard. Like, even when it gets hard, man. Like, male or female, like, just keep going and, like, be patient with it. Be patient with it and enjoy the connections that you build here. Exactly. That's what I've enjoyed. Like, all these people that I've met from California, Ohio, Kansas City, Texas, Alabama, like, you name it. Like, just like college, like, you was meeting all different types of people from around the world. It's just like, enjoy the connection.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And I think also just doing your best to make the most out of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just don't be dwelling on the negatives of everything. and just look for the positives in certain in most situations.
Because I ain't gonna lie, me and you, when we came out here at first, we were kind of thinking like, man, we finna go home early. We finna go home early. What is going on here, man? And we kind of had these negative thoughts, but then the Lord, He quickly put in our thoughts some positive thoughts. Like, you know what? Let's be patient about this. Maybe something good's gonna come out.
Exactly.
And guess what? We made it to the end. Exactly. We made it to the end, man.
To piggyback on what you said about patience.
Yeah.
It's all about being patient. Sometimes it was hard to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've been being patient this whole time, and still no good is coming right now. But the Lord's plans are always better than ours. So like, and He sees more than we do. His understanding is above ours. So you gotta trust in that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Can you talk about your sword? Bible, your sword.
My Bible. Man. I don't even know where to start.
How many notes are on that?
Hey, but this is credit to the Lord, man. Credit to the Lord. He just put it in my spirit to just read and just like my mother, she would highlight and stuff, and I went a step beyond and put sticky notes. I was just like, man, this is gonna help me. But I believe it's 1st or 2nd Thessalonians. It says that you always need to be prepared to have an answer. And I try to answer things like according to the Bible or according to the wisdom that the Lord has gifted me with. So this sword, I call it this sword. This is where you know I get my wisdom and my understanding from. Really, I've learned a lot from this book, and it's really helped me with conversations with people as far as like spiritually and, you know, historical facts, things like that. So, and also with Proverbs, I have a lot of sticky notes with Proverbs. And I mean, I know the whole Bible is, yeah, I know, but it just helps me with conversations, believe it or not. And this is a book that teaches you about life, man. Teaches you about life, the good and the bad. So I just try to enter my conversations peacefully, no matter if the person may be angry or they might be going through something. I always, you know, try to enter peacefully because of what I've learned in this. Man.
All that wisdom in that.
But yeah, I told you what you know, I felt like Bible meant to me is basic instructions before leaving Earth. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Yep. So that's awesome. I just follow these instructions, man. To the best of my ability.
That's amazing.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the Lord.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to be at a certain point in their life as they see their friends and peers living away? You know what I mean?
Like they're prospering.
They want to live that way. So they're struggling with seeing their friends on social media going out on trips.
Oh yeah, going to the beach and stuff. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You're definitely, or whoever I'm giving this advice to, you're definitely not the only person like that's thought like that. Like, like they at the beach every day, or they in Bora Bora almost every other month. Like, But understand this: everybody's journey is different. Everybody's path is different. You're gonna you see them prospering, you know, now, and you should be first of all, if they're your friends, you should be happy for them that they're living well and that God is letting them, you know, enjoy their time here. But your time is gonna come, you know. It goes back to patience, being patient and working hard. Exactly. If you want to be able to go on vacations, you want to be able to do all that stuff that you see on Instagram and stuff. Work hard, have that and part of your goals. Like, dang, I want to be able to go to Bora Bora, man. How am I going to get there? Look up how much it's going to be and all that stuff. Work for it.
Yep.
Work for it. Yeah, just work for it.
Yep.
You know, and sometimes, oh my bad, but sometimes some of these people on social media, and sometimes you might hear this online with other people. Sometimes these people are not happy. They're not truly happy, man. It's all a cover up sometimes. So, you know, just just work hard, man. That's all I gotta say. I used to look at it the same way, like, daggone, why? Like, why am I stuck in this position? Why am I here in Tennessee when my friends are in Florida chilling, like at the beach? Like, what? Like, let me formulate a game plan so that I could, you know what I'm saying, have enjoyment of my own, excuse me. But yeah, just there's more to life than being on vacation and all that stuff, man. Like, we're here to learn. We're put on earth to learn more about yourself, learn more about stuff, learn more about your family, history. You know what I'm saying? That's deep right there, man. Like, learn about history. Shoot, build a better connection with the Lord, man. There's never a off season for that. Like,
absolutely.
Always build a connection with the Lord, bro. He'll bring you peace. You just you gotta get that peace, man. So.
Exactly. And a verse I like to use in regards to that is comparison is the thief of joy. When you start comparing yourself to what others are doing on social media and things of that nature, it's gonna take away your joy and the happiness that you have. Like, you're comparing yourself. So yeah, like, piggyback on what JR said, is be happy for them.
Yeah.
Don't look at it like, oh, I need to be there. Oh, I want to be like. Obviously, we all have things we want to do. Work for it and get there, but don't compare yourselves to what they're doing, because you're gonna lose your joy and happiness from doing that.
Bingo.
And last question is another question about somebody struggling. What would you advise somebody who's struggling to stay happy? Say that I'm struggling to be happy. Stay happy.
Struggling to stay happy. Gotta find the things that I'll say this. Someone that's struggling to stay happy. So were they happy before at some point, or were they like not happy?
Maybe they're just going through, like, let's say depression or anxiety. Maybe something like that is leading to them not staying happy.
Me personally, I seek the Lord 10 times harder. That's me. Like, and it may not go away instantly, but I start to feel a little bit of healing each day I go. I seek the Creator. I do. Whoever you believe in, if it is the Lord or Buddha or different religions, like, seek, and ask them for help, for guidance. And I know that could seem like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say. Like, everybody goes through sadness, man. Everybody goes through some sort of depression or sorrow. It's just all part of your tribulation. It's all part of your test that you have to go through. God is always putting you through a test, rather it's a good one or a bad or a tough one. He's putting you through the fire. He's putting you through the fire so you can come out of that furnace pure gold. That's what it is. So you're just in the furnace right now. That's all. So just endure through the tests that the Lord is always trying to show you something. He's always trying to give you a sign. Like, sometimes the signs be right in front of your face, and it take you a long time to realize it. It be right in front of your face, and then one day you finally get like, I've been seeing this the whole time. Like, the Lord's been showing me this the whole time, and like, that's what it was. That's the root of it. That's what it was. So you got to find the root of what the sadness is, and then deal with it.
Great. That's
deal
a
with
great,
it accordingly.
Great way to go about it.
Yeah.
Like what you said. I'll say also just like seek just peace and joy.
Yeah.
And he'll cover that. It'll cover that happiness. That joy will cover and even go over that happiness that you're seeking. And it comes from God. So just seek him first when you wake up. Listen to some gospel. If you're struggling with being happy, listen to some gospel music or something smooth, something that just keeps you, get your mood up a little bit. Do that. Try that out. And I think that can help you out too a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna go to the quick hitter questions before we end. Woo! If you had a chance to ask God a question and get the answer immediately, what would it be?
Sheesh.
That's a deep one.
Man, the crazy thing is I have so many questions. I just don't know which one. Oh man. what made you want to create Earth? What made you want to create this story? This story of life. That's one of the biggest questions I have for the Lord. Is what made you want to do this? What made you want to create good and evil, Adam and Eve, murders, different things like that? Like, what made you? What was the motivation? What was the motivation behind that? Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Second quick hitter. Favorite person in the Bible other than Jesus?
Great question. I would have to say Job.
Job. Why
Either Job or Solomon. Job was a perfect man in the sight of the Lord, and so Satan went to go tempt him, and obviously burnt down his house, killed his family, and he started. It just started to go downhill for him. Like, he started having some negative thoughts. He was just pretty much saying that, why am I living? I ain't got no family no more. And he had some wise counseling from elders. Even a young person was talking to him, and but Job, he's very strong, and he endured through all that. And not only that, he had a new family. He was able to have a new family and multiple children. At
more
the
riches.
End of more riches, and he was able to sustain. So Job is how can I say it? Just very strong and courageous, man. He endured through a tribulation like that. Like, just imagine, like, your whole family died, like, killed, because the Lord is trying to test you. Like, he's using that test. So that's a big test right there. So trials and tribulations. So like, you go through sadness, go through depression. There's some people that ain't got no families at all. Like, there's some people, like, going through worse. Now, I'm not gonna discredit, like, that you are sad, but people that have gone through in the Bible, like, they've gone through so much, and it's so difficult. So just use that as encouragement, motivation.
Yeah, it's motivation
for sure.
That's a good one. Favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete?
Yeah.
I would probably have to say, oh man, it's LeBron.
LeBron.
It's the go-to. It's LeBron. It's LeBron. Yeah.
Great,
man, LeBron.
That's a good one.
From high school straight to the league and making his all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, LeBron
breaking multiple records. Like, how can you argue?
That's a tough one to argue.
Made a school, has a son that's gonna follow right behind in his footsteps. Has a beautiful family. He's doing it, man, on and off the court.
On and off. Favorite teammate you've had?
A favorite
teammate, man. Favorite teammate you've had?
One of my favorite. I gotta say, one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of your favorites.
One of my favorite teammates was Jordan Griswold. That's his name. Jordan Griswold.
Jordan Griswold.
He's endured through a lot of tribulations too. He had I think he tore his ACL. Had to, do rehab. This is in college.
Yeah.
He had to go through rehab, and he still decided to come back and play. We both, we won championships together, and we had good chemistry on and off the court.
Yeah.
So we just related in a lot of things. So that's why I would say, because he was the one that I was consistently, like, it was consistent. We both were, on good terms pretty much all the time. We never had any beef or any bad times, really. It's always been good vibes, always.
That's awesome. Shout out Jordan.
Shout out Jordan Grizz.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
If you could relive one moment from your career, what would it be and why? From your basketball career.
Relive one moment?
One moment. If you could relive one moment from your basketball career. Sheesh. They won a lot of championships.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I would want to relive in college the last game of my season. I would want to relive that, because I don't know how to explain. It's just, like you saying, can we change it? Like, if we could change it, or like it's just like
it could be both. Like, you could change it, or you could just like relive it. Like, you win a championship, like relive that feeling of winning that championship.
Yeah. So I would say,
like
okay. So COVID year, when we won the Western Division Championship, for sure. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, that felt good because, mind you, we were getting tested. We had to get the swab on our nose.
Yeah.
We couldn't practice in our own gym.
Yeah.
Like, we had to practice at the rec, conditioning. We had to run hills, like throwing up. We had to run 100s on the football field from one end zone to the other. Like, oh man, we went through a lot that year. We ran so much, and like the testing, like, you never know if somebody was going to test positive.
Oh,
and that was just, wow, bro. It was just a very stressful time. But we were able to get the job done.
Sure. All right, JR, thank you for being on the show, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yes,
thank you guys for watching. And we're out.